Hello everyone and welcome back to the Scary Story channel. Tonight I have a tale for you that will make you think twice about taking shortcuts through old forgotten places. This is a story about a forgotten grave and the chilling truth that some things are better left undisturbed. Our story begins with Alex, a college student who had a knack for finding the quickest route no matter how unconventional. His daily commute to campus involved a long winding road that circled a dense patch of woods. But Alex, being Alex, discovered a dirt path that cut straight through the forest, shaving a good 15 minutes off his travel time. For months, this was his secret shortcut. The woods were quiet, peaceful even. The ancient trees formed a dense canopy, dappling the path with soft, shifting light. It was his own private slice of nature, a brief escape from the hustle of college life. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves crunched under his boots, something caught his eye. Just a few yards off the path, half hidden by overgrown bushes and a tangle of ivy, was a small, solitary headstone. It was old, weathered by countless seasons, and tilted at an angle as if the earth itself was trying to reclaim it. Alex had walked this path 100 times, but he'd never noticed it before. Curiosity, a feeling that often leads our characters into trouble, got the better of him. He pushed aside the thorny branches and knelt down to get a closer look. The stone was simple, almost crude. Much of the inscription had been worn away by time and weather, but he could just make out a name. Ilara. There were no dates, no family name, just that single, elegant word carved into the granite. Below it, a faint inscription was barely legible. Alex traced the letters with his finger, whispering the words as he deciphered them. Where I lie, let peace reside. Do not disturb my slumber. A shiver that had nothing to do with the autumn chill ran down his spine. It felt less like a memorial and more like a warning. He shook off the creepy feeling. It was just an old grave, probably from centuries ago. A pioneer, maybe? Someone who lived and died on this land long before the college or the town even existed. He felt a strange sense of connection to this forgotten soul, Ilara. He took a picture with his phone, thinking it would make a cool, spooky post for his social media. He captioned it, "Found a secret in the woods. Haunted hike, Char's forgotten grave." He didn't think much of it, just another interesting find on his daily walk. Oh, how wrong he was. That night things started to get strange. Alex was studying in his dorm room when he heard a faint scratching sound. It seemed to come from his window. He peeked outside, but there was nothing there, just the empty campus grounds 3 stories below. He dismissed it as a tree branch scraping against the building in the wind. But then, a few minutes later, he heard a soft whisper. It was so faint, he thought he'd imagined it. It sounded like a woman's voice, sighing his name. Alex. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He turned off his music, listening intently. Silence. He told himself he was just tired, his mind playing tricks on him after finding that creepy grave. The next day he took his usual shortcut. As he approached the spot where the grave was, he felt a sudden oppressive cold. The air grew heavy, and the cheerful bird song that usually filled the woods fell completely silent. He glanced towards the headstone and his blood ran cold. The ivy and bushes that had concealed it were now pushed back, almost tidily. The ground around the grave, which had been covered in dead leaves, was now clear, as if someone had swept it. And there, placed neatly on top of the headstone, was a single fresh white lily. There was no one around. The path was deserted. Alex's rational mind screamed that it was a prank. Someone must have seen his post online and decided to mess with him. It had to be. But a deeper, more primal part of him knew that wasn't true. He didn't linger. He walked, then jogged, then broke into a full sprint, not stopping until he burst out of the woods and into the bright, safe sunlight of the campus. That night the activity escalated. The scratching at his window returned, louder this time, more frantic, and the whispers were no longer faint. They were clear, right by his ear, a cold, breathy voice, sighing his name over and over. Alex, Alex, you found me. He barricaded his door with a chair and huddled under his covers, his phone clutched in his hand. He scrolled through his social media, his finger hovering over the post he'd made. He should delete it, pretend none of this ever happened. But a morbid curiosity, a terrible need to know more, stopped him. He started searching online, typing Ilara, forgotten grave, and the name of his town. He spent hours digging through old town archives, digital newspaper clippings, and local folklore forums. Finally, he found it. A small, obscure article from a local historian's blog. It told the legend of Ilara, a woman who lived in the area in the late 1700s. She was an outcast, accused of dark practices by the villagers. The legend said she possessed a terrible, possessive spirit. When she passed away, the townspeople buried her in the deepest part of the woods, far away from the hallowed ground of the church cemetery. They carved a warning on her stone, a plea for her spirit to remain dormant. The article concluded with a chilling line. It is said that whoever rediscovers her final resting place awakens not just her memory, but her lonely, grasping soul, which will latch on to the living and never let go. Just as he finished reading, his laptop screen flickered and went black. In the reflection, he saw her, a pale, spectral figure standing right behind him in the middle of his locked dorm room. Her form was indistinct, like smoke, with long, dark hair obscuring a face he couldn't quite see. But he could feel her eyes on him, cold and full of a terrible longing. The whisper was no longer a whisper. It was a clear, chilling voice that filled the room, seeming to come from everywhere at once. "You found me, Alex. Now you will stay with me. We will not be forgotten again." Alex never walked that path again. He took the long way to class, moved to a different dorm at the end of the semester, and eventually transferred to a college in another state. But even now, years later and hundreds of miles away, he sometimes wakes in the dead of night. He wakes to the faint sound of scratching at his window, and the cold, lingering echo of a whisper. A promise from a forgotten grave that she will never, ever let him go. Some things are not meant to be found, and some secrets once disturbed will follow you forever. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that story sent a little chill down your spine. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe to the Scary Story channel for more tales from the shadows. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Stay safe out there, and whatever you do, stick to the main path. Until next time.